all of this over here. It's just completely gone. What would the fraction be that is left?
1 out of 2.
Exactly. So you have eaten half of the pie because it's your favorite pie. And there was a whole pie, which means it had 2 sides, because 2 over 2 before you ate half of it equals what?
2.
1.
Oh.
2 goes into 2 one time.
Oh, yeah, it does.
So now that you've eaten this side and we colored it in, there's 1/2 of the pie left. Okay, so I have a little exercise on this worksheet just to make sure you know how to color in fractions. So example here is, there is, how many slices to this rectangle box do you see total? Not colored in, just total.
3.
And that means the numerator or the denominator?
That's the denominator.
Exactly. How many is colored in?
2.
Okay, so say this in fraction terms.
2 out of 3.
Exactly, or you could say 2/3. So there's 2 examples here that I need you to color in, and then we can move on, because I want to make sure you have a great understanding on fractions. Okay, thank you. Are you ready?
Yep, I am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, and if you can do the next problem, please.
And I am finished.
Perfect. Okay, let me look at your work. Great job. There were 6 squares inside of this rectangle box, meaning that was the denominator total. You've seen that the numerator they gave you was 4, so the number you had to prove was 4, 6. You colored in 4 boxes. Great job. You got that one correct. So over here, there's a total of 8 slots. It gives you the number 8/12, so you had to color in 8 being the numerator out of 12 slots, and you did a great job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You colored out of 9, 10, 11, 12. Great job. So we're going to move on today to something that's a little more work we're going to do with fractions, okay? And so basically we're going to find out which fraction is lower or which fraction is bigger, okay? So here we go. So let's just start with a number. Now, do you recall these signs that you learned earlier in the year?
Mm-hmm.
So which sign is this?
Less than.
And which sign is this?
Bigger than.
And it's actually greater than, bigger than, same thing. And this sign here?
Equal than.
Okay, so if you see a 5 and you see a 6, which sign would you use? Is 5 greater than 6 or is it less than 6?
You would use less than 6.
Less than 6. Because I don't know if you remember, we always said the alligator mouth is eating the bigger number. So let me give you another example. What would this answer be? Greater than or less than sign?
Greater than.
Good job. So now one more example. Would this be greater than, less than, or equal?
Equal.
Right. When the same number is on both sides, it is equal. So now we're going to turn this around with fractions. First, we're going to start off with fractions with common denominators. So if you see 5, 6, and then you see 2, 6, with them having common denominators, it's easy to find out what's the bigger number. Do you think the bigger number is 5, 6, or do you think it's 2, 6?
5, 6.
So 5, 6 is greater than 2, 6, correct? So this is going to be a little trickier because these numbers are going to be different. So we are going to have to use some cross multiplication with fractions. So I'm going to give you an example. 2/3, is it greater than or less than 4/5? So what we don't know is they have different denominators. So do you know this answer by just looking at it?
No.
You don't. So the way we're going to do it is cross multiplication. And the way you do this is you take, you're going to multiply the number 5 times 2 to get the top number, and then to get the bottom number, you'll multiply 5 times 3. Okay? So you'll see. So the first thing we're going to do to get, after we do cross fraction, is we're going to start with 2/3. So we want to make them the same number. So 2/3, if you're going to multiply 2/3 by this number here, you're going to say 2/3 times 5 times 5. So it's not necessarily cross multiplication. We just know that 5 is going to be multiplied by 2 and 3. 3 is going to be multiplied by 4 and 5. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 times 5 equals, 2 times 5 equals,
10,
3 times 5 equals,
15.
so we've made this 2/3 10, 15. We want them to have the same common denominator. So now we're going to take 3 and multiply it by 4. What do you get? 3 times 4 is,
12.
and then 3 times 5 is what? Huh?
15.
So what do you notice now about these numbers that were different from before? What do they have in common?
A 1.
No, they have a common denominator now. Before, this had a 3, this had a 5. Those were not common. So now this is going to be a little easier for us to figure out. 10 over 15 versus 12 over 15. Which is the bigger number?
12 or 15.
12 over 15. And let me show you a little way that you can do it another way, which checks yourself, okay? And this is when the cross multiplication comes into play. 2 times 5 is,
2 times 5 is 10.
so let's write here 10 over there. 3 times 4 is,
12.
what is the bigger number?
12.
Look at there. That means your answer is correct. I'm going to do another one, and then we will do another one together, and then I'll have you do one. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that we notice is what? We don't have an answer for this because what is different?
Like the denominator?
Exactly. So we need to make them the same. And what we're going to do to make this is the same is we're going to take 6, 7 and multiply it by what? What number over here we're going to multiply it by?
20.
No. The left one goes to the bottom number. The right one goes to the bottom number. So 6 times what?
4.
Exactly. And 7 times what?
3.
7 times what?
4.
Yeah. So basically, this number to get equal will go to this. So it's basically like this. 6, 7 is going to be multiplied by 4. So you multiply the 6 by 4 and 7 by 4. 3/4 will be multiplied by the 7. So you'll multiply 3 times 7 and 4 times 7. So what is 6 times 4?
6 times 4 is... Oh, it's I forgot.
24. 7 times 4 is?
7 times 4 is 28.
So now we've already worked with this number, correct, Miles? So we're going to put 24 over 28 over here. But we still don't have an answer. Is it greater than or less than 3/4? So now what number are we going to multiply 3/4 by? What number?
7.
So 7 times 3 is?
21.
7 times 4 is?
28.
So which one now is the bigger number since they both have common denominators?
24, 28.
Exactly. And the way we check it is, remember, cross multiply. 6 times 4 is?
6 times 4 is 24.
And then 7 times 3 is?
21.
And is that is the 24 the bigger number than 21?
Yep.
And now our answers are the same, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you a problem, and I'm going to watch you work it out all by yourself. I know that you can do this. Is 2/3 greater or less than 4/5? Okay, let's see you do it. What's the first step?
Wait, the first step isn't it?
Yes, so write it down here. Let me make sure I see your work.
3.
No.
Wait, what?
2/3 gets multiplied by this bottom number. So you have to bring 2/3 down here.
Okay.
And now you're going to multiply it by what number?
5.
Yep, so it'll be 5 on top, 5 on bottom. Because we want to get those denominators the same. Make sure you put X there or a dot for multiplication. Okay, so now what does it equal?
Equals
5 times 2 equals, put the equal sign there.
5 times 2 equals 10.
On top, right? So let's erase this and make sure it's all coming over. Put it on top.
Here.
Mm-hmm. Now put the line for a fraction under it. The same thing, you need to add that line there.
Okay.
So now 3 times 5 is what?
3 times 5 is 15.
Yes, so 10, 15. So we're going to move that up here because we've handled the 2/3, trying to get their denominators to be common.
Instead of 10, 15.
And put the line, because we don't have the answer yet. We don't know if it's less than, greater than, or equal. So put the little line.
Later.
Yes, just like this one, it goes between the... Okay, perfect. So now we're doing 4/5, and we want to make that common. So how are we going to make 4/5 where they have a common denominator? You'll bring 4/5 down.
So 4.
Okay, and what are you going to multiply it by?
I'm going to multiply it by 3.
Correct. So put the multiplication sign. You're going to put a 3 up top. And will you put it on the bottom too?
Yep.
Yep, make sure you don't forget the line because, yep, it's a fraction. Now it equals what? Tell me what it equals. You need to put the equal sign.
Oh yeah. And 4 times 2 equals 12.
Okay.
2. And then I'm trying to count that. And then 5 times 3 equals 15.
So you're going to write this number up here, right?
Mhm. So 12, 15.
Okay, so which is 10/15 less than or greater than 12/15? You put the answer in there for me.
That is less than, so
Great job. And how do we check our answer by cross multiplying? What are we going to do over here to check it?
we're gonna do like is it this one first, not or that one?
Yes, so let's do this one first.
Okay. Go.
No,
I messed it up.
you did. It's okay. You just have to, as long as you notice, that's good. So give me the answers. 5 times 2 and write it up there.
5 times 2, 10.
And 3 times 4, write it over here on this side. Is 10 less than or greater than 12?
Less than.
Check your answer with this. Is this correct?
Mm-hmm.
Great job. So we're going to do some more examples like this during class on a worksheet. And then we will do, what is it? Then we'll do it on a worksheet. And then if, make sure you have a good understanding of it before I send you home with homework. And if not, we'll add some supplemental work and do some Cons Academy until we make sure you have it before you go home, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you so much.